Time for these bad boys to step into the ring. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 characters we want to see in a fighting game. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we'll be looking at characters from across all media that would be perfect candidates for a fighting game. Any character from cartoons to movies to anime and even other video games are applicable, just so long as they haven't already appeared in a fighting game series.
You're entirely too weak. I mean, just look at you.
Number 10, Guts for Soul Calibur, Berserk series. He is arguably one of anime's most badass characters, one that's complete with a tortured past and a body count too high to number. Guts would be the ideal foil for any kind of weapons-based fighting game. Just look at the size of the sword of his. Honestly, if Ezio Auditore, Link, Spawn, and even frickin' Darth Vader all got into Soul Calibur games, there's no reason to not include the guy who basically inspired Siegfried's fighting style, right? Number 9, Edward Elric for Blazblue, Full Metal Alchemist series. Given how the influence and popularity of this series was so strong that it easily broke into the mainstream, there's no excuse for the Full Metal Alchemist not to show up in some form of crossover fighting game. His automail ligaments and mastery of transmutation would make for a great gaming mechanic, easily adaptable to more strategy-based beat-em-ups like Blazblue. His art style would also fit in perfectly with that roster too, because it's cartoony. Hell, we'll take any excuse to see the younger Elric brother knock more heads. Number 8, Ash Williams for Mortal Kombat, Evil Dead series.
Groovy.
You can never have too much Bruce Campbell, and seeing him return to his iconic chainsaw-wielding role would be a dream come true for many, especially in a fighting game. There's actually been no better time for the king to make a return, given that the Mortal Kombat series has practically set the stage for him. After all, their latest entry featured a Xenomorph, the Predator, Jason Voorhees, and Leatherface as playable characters, so why not give Ash his due as well? Can you imagine the boomstick-related fatalities? Not to mention the inevitable banter with Johnny Cage.
Redonkulous.
Number 7, Banjo-Kazooie for Super Smash Bros. Banjo-Kazooie series. The Super Smash Bros. Series has catered to all of Nintendo's heavyweights, bringing them together for a distinctly enjoyable fighting game experience that very few have managed to replicate. Since the later iterations of the game had everyone from Solid Snake to Cloud Strife to Bayonetta, we're waiting to see others jump on board that Smash wagon. So why not give this duo another chance to shine? Yes, we know that the Duck Hunt dog was made as a spiritual replacement, and Rare is owned by Microsoft, yada yada yada, but we can dream, right? This is an ideal kind of thing. Number 6, Crash Bandicoot for PlayStation AllStars Battle Royale, Crash Bandicoot series. Look, we're not saying that PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale was a masterpiece of gaming, especially given how desperate it seemed to want to emulate Super Smash Bros., but that being said, if you're gonna go out of your way to include the most iconic characters to ever grace the family of PlayStation consoles, then where the hell is Crash? Was he shafted to make room for 2 versions of Cole from Infamous? Regardless, since his resurgence with the remastered release of his games, we say that this Bandicoot should definitely get a chance to throw his stuff in a fighting game setting. Hope he packs that bazooka. Number 5, Genji for Guilty Gear, Overwatch. The cast of Overwatch have risen to become modern champions of the gaming scene, and thanks to their intricate playstyles, we can see many being able to transition over to fighting games. The cybernetic ninja whose sword skills are only matched by his ability to summon a giant green dragon. Badass brooding aside, Genji would be a welcome addition to rapid-paced fighting games like Guilty Gear. I wonder if Hanzo would be pissed to see his brother hanging out with the likes of Baiken.
Perhaps I am a fool to think there is still hope for you, but I do.
Number 4, Shovel Knight for Smash Bros. Shovel Knight. He bested the all-powerful Order of No Quarter with nothing more than some epic jumps and a garden tool, so he's more than earned his chance to take on other legendary video game characters. As an icon of the modern retro gaming craze, Shovel Knight's simple mechanics make him an ideal choice for the wide area fighting like the Super Smash Bros. Series. Heck, if you want to go all the way, let him be a DLC character in Killer Instinct, because they've already started recruiting retro stars to their character roster. Besides, he's even held his own against Kratos, so what more do you need? Number 3, Sora for Dissidia, Kingdom Hearts series.
Yeah,
you're right.
He's been stuck in a perpetual loop of recuts, revisions, and re-editions for well over a decade, so let this poor kid do something else other than save Kairi and fight the Heartless. In many ways, Sora has already shown himself to be a fighter more than capable of taking on other video game stars, as he's already gone up against Sephiroth. Which brings us to our main point. Square Enix would do well to include him in their own fighting game series, Dissidia. He seems like the perfect fit, and he's already clashed with many iconic Final Fantasy characters, so it's a no-brainer. Number 2, Wreck-It Ralph for Marvel vs. Capcom. Wreck-It Ralph.
You have etched in the rock of virtue a legacy beyond compare.
Thanks, guys. At ease.
He's bad, and that's good, since we wouldn't want him any other way. Considering the narrative of this debut feature film involved him traversing all kinds of classic arcade titles, it only seems natural that Ralph would end up in a fighting game, and we can't think of a better one than Marvel vs. Capcom. His titanic strength would already make him a fierce opponent, but more than anything, it would just be hilarious to see him take part in Bad and On with other villains. Not to mention Disney already owns Marvel, and Capcom's characters appeared in his film, so it would be easy to include him from a licensing standpoint.
I'm Zangief, I'm bad guy.
Hi, Zangief.
Hi, Zangief. I relate to you, Ralph. When I hit bottom, I was crushing man's skull like sparrow egg.
Before we reveal our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Take this! The captain of the 7 deadly sins? Impossible.
Yeah, kick his butt, dude!
Eat my sword, Ice King!
Number 1, The Mask for Killer Instinct. The Mask. And no, we're actually not talking about Jim Carrey's take on the character. While that was more than entertaining, the mask we're referring to is his comic book counterpart. You know, the one that's a lot more psychotic and loves nothing more than to kill anyone who comes across him in a variety of creative and gruesome ways. With that in mind, seeing him take on the cast of Killer Instinct only seems fitting, considering how over the top some of the other fighters in that game already look. His fighting style would blend very well in with the game's trademark. Say it with me now. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.